So first,
Absolutely.
and I was
Let's dig it all up.
oh, no.
True.
You'll never guess.
So sidebar. Yes.
And also, I feel like I shouldn't have to remember everything.
I know.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is also podcast Summer House Edition, Season 9, Episode 12. It just gets worse for me to watch.
We only have 3 more. I have a confirmed end date.
Okay, thank God, because if I had to watch these 2 tall brunette men try and speak to women any longer, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. And this is why I'm into blondes. I'm going to say it. I have a type.
That's so funny because Carl and Ciara disagree. They're into brunettes now.
I will take a brunette, but I've been known to, if aesthetically, I like brunettes. History-wise, I've really gone for blondes.
Same.
And my friends really roast me on it.
Like, if I were to look at a celebrity and be like, I think this person's hot, it's typically like a brunette.
It's a brunette.
But yes, I have the same thing. Or like a very, very light brunette, but typically like a dirty blonde.
Oh, mine's dark brunette. Oh my God, a little caramel skin. No, and then I date someone who has translucent skin.
And you like people you can snap with like a twig, right?
A twig! My friends really roast me. Don't let my friends listen to this episode.
God.
Anyway, okay, before we get into the episode, we have an Instagram, a TikTok, a YouTube, a Patreon. Be sure to check all those out. All the links are in our description. Also, please be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. We have no new reviews, but that's okay because now I know to check at least. So thanks a lot,
We're
Apple.
back, baby.
Anyway, can we just hop in the episode? I have a lot to say. I was disgusted.
When I was watching it, I was so curious what your thoughts were, and I couldn't wait to record this because I just
okay. All honesty, it usually takes me an hour and a half to 2 hours to watch an episode because I'm pausing, taking notes and stuff. Mm-hmm. I had to take at least 3 5-minute breaks that had nothing to do with notes, just me standing up and walking away. And I can let you know when those
gagged. I was talking to my TV this episode, which I normally do during other shows, but with this one, I don't know, I'm just more in tune with it, and I know we're gonna talk
about it later. Yeah,
but I literally was like, you have to be kidding me.
I had a group
this
chat.
Is a whole new level.
I had a group chat going off while we were all watching it at the same time. Magical experience. I had my friend separately text me that was from this group chat just to talk about how disgusted she really was with this. I hope I'm gay. I can't stress this enough. After watching this episode, I hate men. They're so weird. Oh, okay.
We're going to get through it.
I don't know if I can without vomiting. Okay. So previously on Summer House, Tom Schwartz is here. Surprisingly, he was the best part of the episode.
Same. I thought the exact same thing. That's all my posts are about him because at least I can stand him.
The absolute fuck is that. Jesse was flirting with Ciara while Lexi was gone and he wasn't honest about it. Carl might have a little bit of a crush on Ciara. Kyle's checking out his fertility. Lexi is upset with Jesse because he's spinning the narrative and is being manipulative. And Paige tells Lexi to walk away from Jesse. So we pick up right where we left off. It's Saturday, August 17th, 9:09 p.m. The girls just finished their chat with Lexi. Paige says, even though we've known Jesse longer, he's a guy, so we'll kill him. So maybe they will have her back at the reunion.
I think they kind of will, and just like I said last episode, just there are rights and there are wrongs, and Jesse is wrong in some of this stuff.
So we're at the snooze fest party, and then Carl and Ciara talk. Oh my God, it starts so early. I forgot. Okay.
I know.
So Ciara asks about the girl Carl hooked up with last weekend. And Carl says he's committed a lot of crimes, but this is number 1, and I'd like him arrested.
Really? I wondered to know how much this irked you compared to the other stuff this season.
He tells Ciara that he didn't perform at his optimal level. Disgusting. Disgusting.
Leave that for your boy chats. Like, leave us alone.
No, say you were a little rusty. Optimal level?
Optimal was crazy.
Are we at work? The optimal level? That's crazy. That's disgusting. That's so... I don't need to picture you fucking to your... And let me tell you, your optimal level is a 4. Sorry. No. You can't wear those green-ass ugly shoes and have a fetish for tan lines and be good in bed. You just can't. You can't. This is a terrible offense by you. No one wanted to know.
Like, you could have just said you were rusty, and, like, we all know what he means. He's emotionally rusty. Like, we already know he hasn't slept with someone. Like, that would have covered it.
When you say rusty, you can go, I'm emotionally rusty. Like, it was a little rough.
Just, like, it's awkward, you know, getting back into it.
When you say optimal level, that just means fucking. And
no, I literally immediately thought of him thrusting, and it was the worst visual in my mind.
So this is where I paused and got up, because I watched this at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. I was exhausted.
That is a lot. That's
absolute yuck.
Thankfully, I watched the previews, and so, like, I got to just block this out when I for real watched it on Wednesday night.
Remember when we had a lovely conversation about keeping things to yourself? Like when Carl said, I haven't fucked anyone since Lindsay. Just lie about it or don't admit to it. Yeah. Just be like, I'm exploring. This is another thing you just kind of keep to yourself. If you want to be honest about it, be like, it was a little weird. It was a little awkward. I'm a little rusty. I just, it's been a while, but we're getting back into it.
If you feel the need to talk about it, there are ways to talk about it without doing that.
Optimal level is crazy. I don't need to picture Carl's bare ass thighs thrusting. No. I don't have to do it. Stop.
This is literally worse than thinking about him finger banging Lindsay.
That's fine. I love that. This?
No, I never loved that.
This
is worse because at least the finger bang was kind of funny.
Yeah, at least like it was a joke. He was dead ass serious, and Ciara had to sit there and be like, "Oh, you'll get it next time." Crazy.
And then he migrates to being like, "Oh, by the way, I like you." Like, you can't do those in the same conversation.
He's literally fucking at a level 3, and he's like, "But I like you. Get in bed with." That's crazy.
He's like, "Hey, I'm not optimal, but do you want to bang me?"
This is why there's a male loneliness epidemic. Just shut up.
Just shut up. You don't know how to, like, advertise yourself to somebody you're interested in. Why are you going to tell me you're bad at sex and then basically tell me you like me? Even if I did like you, it's going to be a no for me now.
I would rather a guy just look at me and be like, I'm pretty terrible in bed. And I'd be like, all right, we'll work on it. Optimal level, I picture, like, robot Carl coming out and he just can't perform. He can't get the task done. Crazy. Goodbye. Anyway, so Carl again says he was very nervous because he hasn't been with anyone since Lindsay. He could have just said that. Anyway. But he's down to see this girl again. He's going to keep putting himself out there more. Carl would love a brunette. And then Ciara's like, I would also like a brunette. And then Ciara says she's just done with white men, though. Which is great. And then Carl is like, there goes my chance. Oops. There I go.
Which, like, if that was just a joke, then, like, all right, that would have been funny if he was like, oh, not me anymore. But then he's like, well, let me take this opportunity.
That he could have ended on a high note, because that is funny. I love when, even, like, when we're not in it, and, like, I have a guy friend who's like, oh, I'm really into blondes. I'll be like, damn it. Time to dye my hair.
And we already see that, like, Ciara and him have banter, so, like, it fits with their relationship. But, like, why did you have to...
It was something Wes would say, and it was funny, and it was creative, and, like, that's the banter.
Instead, Carl's like, no humor. Let me just ruin my reputation a little bit more and dig this hole a little deeper on how weird I am.
He literally goes, let me be honest. And I went, nope. And he said to Ciara that she's beautiful, she's incredible, and then he kind of has a little crush on her. And when I tell you the wheels were immediately turning. How do I turn this man down? She kept going, thank you.
Because,
it's
like,
so
you don't want to
awkward.
crush him. Like, I know she's treading so lightly because he's already at a really low point. And if you're honest with him, this would just crush him in any, like,
capacity.
Like he's just trying to get back into it, and so like why like hurt his spirit? And I think she does a really good job, but like having a friend tell you that they like you and you have no interest in them is one of the worst things to go through, because you're like, I don't want to ruin our friendship, but it's a no.
Okay, I could be wrong with this, but whenever I have had feelings for someone, I'm pretty engaged to like knowing if they maybe feel the same way or if they don't.
Yeah.
And if they don't, I'm probably just like not going to say anything because I already kind of know
Agreed.
the answer. Whereas like if I'm feeling it, I'll kind of be like, I like you. And they'll be like, I like you too. There was no, in my opinion, like there couldn't be anything from Ciara that gave Carl this idea that like this would work.
I know. Well, it's one of those things that like men think that any woman being nice to them is flirting with them,
No,
because they would never
literally.
do that back. Like they would never just compliment a woman. Well, like stereotypically, they would never just compliment a woman. So like Ciara complimenting Carl a
Yeah.
bunch is the green light in his head, and it's like, no, that's not what's going on here.
This reminded me of, and I always deny these men, the ones on Hinge that will message you first and be like, you have the most beautiful smile in the world and your eyes
Right.
sparkle in the sunshine. And I'm like, yuck.
I'm like, because you did that, it's a no. Like, I don't care
can't-
what you look like. It's weird.
It's not how you approach us. It's just weird. I can't explain it. It's just like not a comfortable position to be in. So then for Carl to then not only say, I have a crush on you. I think you're beautiful. I think you're incredible. You're so amazing. I'm so obsessed with, he just wouldn't shut the fuck up. And I was begging him. I was like, stop, please. I don't root for you, but I'm begging you to just stop.
I'm not rooting for your demise either, though. Like, I just need you to like slow your roll and like tone it down a little bit.
If you're unsure, ask a friend. Just ask Paige and be like, do you think
really?
Ciara's in?
That is such a good point. Like,
Just
why aren't
ask
we
the
bouncing
friend.
ideas off the guys? Like, Kyle actually is a good friend to bounce ideas off of.
Hey, I think I kind of have a thing for Ciara. Do you know, like, maybe I don't want to ruin the friendship. Could it be
or even the
reciprocated?
girls? Like, can you imagine if he had, like Carl asked Amanda? Amanda would have been like, "That's really sweet, but she doesn't want to date anybody in the house." Like, she would have let him down similarly, but.
And then he asked Ciara if she's ever looked at him like that.
My God.
And it's like she's like, oh my God, you're amazing too. But so Ciara says, like, listen, she's in a really good spot with Lindsay. Carl has been she uses it. She's like, maybe if you were never engaged to Lindsay, which is
that helps.
That's the best.
Because you can never go back to pre-engagement.
No, she's in a really good spot with Lindsay. And then Ciara says one of my favorite lines to always use: "What's meant to be will be." So she's not saying no, but she's kind of like,
if it's meant to be, it'll happen. Yeah, I won't do anything to make it happen, though.
The universe will leave us as the last two people in the earth. That's when it's meant to be, kind of thing. And then she also says, like, I don't want to date anyone in this house. I think I just need to meet a stranger, which I do think that's true. That's 100% like, true. And he says, like, Ciara, you go out and date a little, and then you can realize how solid I am.
Oh, man.
I'm so sorry. I don't know, my guy.
This is what we mean when, like, guys don't really, like, take a hint or, like, when you, like, try to turn them down subtly, it's like, Carl's not getting it.
I'll wait for you. And it's like, you don't have to.
Like, please don't. Like, Carl, I don't think is, like, scary and gonna just, like, keep pursuing her by any means. But, like, there are guys out there that will not stop pursuing you. And it's, like, really jarring to experience that.
And it's scary that, I mean, again, I don't think Carl would do anything. But his response of saying, like, you go out in the world and come back to me is kind of crazy. I was like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Carl, though, acknowledges in his interview he knows he doesn't have a shot in hell. And I was like,
I'm like, good. I do think Carl in his interviews and Carl who was there that summer are two different Carls.
I agree.
Carl has grown a lot since then.
I agree. But he says this really put his confidence up, which I would like to say. Do you notice how men, the minute they lose an ounce of confidence, it's like we have to be so careful with them. Gloves on, the confidence is down. Whereas women, literally, our confidence is shot at least 12 times a day, mostly by men. And I still am expected to just like show up. And
Alicia, I still think about that related to the one summer house person who yelled at me for saying these men suck. on like our post, and I'm like, women get called bitches at least once a day. Like, grow the fuck up and just take it.
Not to call him out, but didn't he do some pretty shitty things to a woman in the summer house?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's multiple of them. Every single one of them actually all have done that, but
yeah, you could guess who it is. You'd probably be right, but I mean, there's only 4 to really guess from, so I don't know. Just think about it. But I'm kind of over men being like, oh, my confidence was down, but this is helping. You creeping out 90% of your viewers.
Everything is tied to us. Like, why are we constantly responsible for like how men feel? Like, we don't expect men to like constantly boost our confidence and do whatever. To be honest, we like rely on our girlfriends. Like find some friends and do it yourself.
Men are the ones that repeatedly kill our confidence.
Yeah.
So
but here's the thing: they won't break us. They do so much to us, and we never act like them.
Literally, it's embarrassing to act like a man. Like, so embarrassing.
So embarrassing.
Like, I watch a man try to navigate the world, and I'm embarrassed for them. That's this. Yep, sorry. And even when I fuck up,
perfectly.
Even when I fuck up, it's not nearly as embarrassing as this. Truly.
No, because I'm also, like we said, we're not as honest as Carl. Like, yeah, we're embarrassing, but we like keep that to our inner circle. Like, they just blast everything to the world.
No, but even if we're publicly embarrassing, like, it's more embarrassing to be a man. Because then let's say we switch places. I'm in Carl's position. I'm telling someone I like them. I have a crush, whatever. And they're like, I think we should stay friends. I'm not then going to go, hey, you go out and see how shitty the world is and come back to me. I'm going to go, no problem. I hope we can keep being friends. That's less embarrassing. And then I'm not going to go in my interview chair and be like, at least my confidence is back. I'm going to be like, that was kind of embarrassing. I got 8 up there. That sucked.
True.
But we're going to come back because women never stop, you know?
Yeah.
That's less embarrassing. It just gets worse, you know, when you're a man. You just shut up.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway,
just shut up.
This conversation finally ends. It's now 9:24 p.m. Party is continuing. Amanda sees Jesse and is like, "Hey, how you doing? You having fun?" And Jesse's like, "I'm not having fun." And Amanda's like, "What's going on?" Even though she knows. And Jesse says he feels like his friends are saying the worst of what he has to say and taking it directly to Lexi, and that's shifting the energy.
Wait, isn't it crazy to have somebody talk behind your back and take it to somebody else?
No, insane. He can't see the mirror that's presented right in front of him. Yeah. Isn't it also crazy that like you did something and you are blaming your friends for repeating what you said to them, not even in confidence?
Wild. It is wild.
And so it's their fault the energy is off.
I can't imagine. Like, I would be upset with my friends. He has a right to be like, I was hoping you would keep this between us. Okay, fine. But it's the lack of accountability of like what his part is in this.
I always say, if I'm going to say something out loud to more than one confidant that I fully trust, I need to be able to say it to the person's face. I need to be ready to say it to their face.
I'm not as brave as you to say it to people's face, but I expect if I say it out loud to somebody else, I have it in the back of my mind that if this does get said to somebody else, that's on
you. You gotta own it.
Know?
Yeah. I always am like, if I wouldn't say this to someone's face, I'm not going to say it to like a fringe friend. If I say it to a friend, if I say it to the whole house, someone comes up to me and says, "I heard you said this," I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, dude."
To be honest, it's like I actually wanted it to get out.
Exact words from my mouth, you know. Anyway.
I don't know if he's just this delusional because he continues this all episode. Like,
yeah, I think he's.
Is he one of those guys that is that delusional? I think he's half delusional, half manipulative. Like, I think he knows he didn't do something great, but I also think he truly does not know what he said anymore. And like, that's scary. You're not responsible for your own words. Like, you're just saying stuff to say stuff. Like, you need to like have better choices when you're speaking then.
No, I fully agree. I do think he just doesn't know, which is scary because it means he like wasn't like raised to take accountability for his actions, which is kind of scary because then he's not going to change. Like, we're looking at who Jesse is. he's 30 fucking something at this point. He's never going to change. And you can sit here all day and say like, oh, people have the capacity to change. But even fucking Kyle, who we have been watching for 9 years, is kind of still the same.
Oh my God, yeah.
In the same way,
the only thing is Summer House and other reality TV shows, they do give you a mirror. So I think like being able to truly watch what his words were back will give him the experience of saying like, okay, wow, I really don't know what I say.
But he can't.
And so I think there's a small sliver that he could take accountability and kind of like change some habits in the way like him speaking and trying to remember what he said next time. Like that's where I think he could change.
Maybe, but the scary part is he can't seem to understand why this is hurtful.
Agreed. That's the biggest like fear I have about this is like you can't understand that people are upset.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Like, that's crazy. So Paige jumps in and she's basically like, listen, you can't come vent to us and then say you don't want any of us involved.
I hate when people do that.
If you say it to us, it's a thing. And Amanda also says it's literally your words. Like, we just repeated it. And, like, if you're talking shit about your significant other already, that's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy. And they don't know. Like, if I'm dating someone and they have some yellow flags, I would be like, this is where I'm hesitant to be in a relationship with you. Right? Like, because we have to work this out before we get into a relationship. But you're going to talk to everyone else in a shared house about it?
Yes. I think that, like, I don't think the context of what everything, like Jesse said, is, like, that bad. I think it really does stand on, it's that he is saying one thing to the girls in the house and another thing to Lexi, and it's the disparity between those. And that's where the girls were like, whoa, that's not okay. Like, you're allowed to process things and be, like, nervous about things and talk to your friends about things. But if you're like switching it up once you're with her, like that's not okay. You need to take those worries to her and work them out with her. And if you're not doing that, like that's what's concerning.
Yeah. If she's unaware that you feel this way, then how can you grow in your relationship?
So like, why would I not take that to her to make sure she knows what is being said behind her back? Because we should be her friend too. I really stand, like, I think the girls did everything right.
Yeah,
I think it would have been nice. Like, the only thing they could have done better is go tell Jesse themselves that they went and talked to Lexi and like,
they don't owe him that though.
I think that's your friendship in practice, but it's not the end of the world. Like, that's the only like next thing you could do, but
for it to be 100% perfect, but human error, but it's like, never gonna be. Sorry.
And like, we're in the middle of a party and like maybe Lexi deserves to go talk to him first, so that's like a nuanced thing you could do even. But I understand him being like frustrated with his friends, but it's not all their fault.
It's not their fault. So Jesse feels like he's putting his best foot forward in his relationship with
crazy.
Lexi and isn't being overly flirtatious. And then things are being brought up from weeks ago.
This is why I was like, sir, you clearly don't know what's going on. Like, you don't know your own actions, and that's terrifying.
He is trying to gaslight us, and I cannot stand for. Stop. I'm not crazy. You're crazy.
It's wild because, like, you typically see people do this to their partners, but like to do this to your friends too, to be like, you're lying about what like you told Lexi, like that's not what happened between us, is diabolical to try to do it to every single person when this is all on camera.
And you're going to try and do it to Paige DeStorbo and Lindsay Hubbard? Please.
Never going to happen.
Please. So Paige says, let's call a spade a spade. If Lexi was here that weekend, Jesse would have gotten his other ball chopped off. Because if Paige was Jesse's girlfriend, she would have killed him for the way he was acting with Ciara.
Yes.
And Jesse's like, so now Ciara has like kind of migrated over by them. And Jesse's like, I wasn't touchy with anyone. And that's when Ciara's like, excuse me? Especially because this wasn't mentioned, but literally Ciara touched him at that cancer dinner. And he was like, stop touching me. So you did what?
You knew. You knew you were overly touchy.
I'm being gaslit. And Jesse wants the specifics on what he did. So Lindsay goes, how about when you said if you met Ciara first last summer before West, that might have been a different story. And then Jesse says his favorite line, it was a joke. It was just a joke. So then Ciara's like, what was funny about it? Why was that a joke? And he goes, it was just to make you feel better about the West situation. And now
I gasped. I was like, oh, honey, you just created a whole second problem. Like,
I had to take another break.
What did you just do?
I had to take another break because now Ciara's pissed. She's like, oh, so you're just like saying shit you don't mean to pity me, make me feel better over a fucking loser like Wes? And Ciara says he's a weirdo for that conversation.
Yes.
And I agree because I have a theory with shitty men. They either fall into the category of loser or weirdo. It's a very distinct thing. If you need an outside world descriptor, Donald Trump is a loser. Elon Musk is a weirdo.
Yes.
If you need a Bravo idea example, Craig Conover is a loser. Jesse is a weirdo. Loser, you're more like, ugh, and a weirdo, you're more like
Wes,
yeah.
I think, is a loser.
Wes is a loser.
Yeah.
You could sit and have a conversation with a loser and just leave and go, he sucks. But if you have a conversation with a weirdo, you leave and go, ooh, I never need to do that again.
I think the loser guys are easier to be friends with.
I agree.
Because I don't mind losers as much as long as I'm not dating them.
The weirdos, you're like 10 feet away.
What
Carl is a weirdo. Kyle's a loser.
Yes.
It's just, it depends. But there are good guys too that don't fall into either one.
Yeah, but they're very rare. It's like, what happened to you when you were being built?
Everyone has a little bit. It's like if you acted shitty in a situation, I could describe you as if you could be a loser or a weirdo. Yeah. So there you go. The house is split. Great. So
but this is another moment where it's like, Jesse, you are not thinking about what you're saying at all. Use a goddamn filter.
It's a joke, Meredith.
I hate when people do that. I understand if you make an offensive actual joke. Okay, I understand if you use that. You were like, sorry, I was just making a joke at your expense. I'm sorry. That wasn't a joke. Making a comment like that, that's not a joke. You're making a comment and now you're trying to backtrack and play it off as if it's a joke. It's so weird. Why do people do this?
This is why I hope I'm gay. It's 10:13 p.m. Ciara's pissed. She walks away. Lindsay looks at Jesse and goes, you're fucked. And I was like, So it's 10:31 p.m. We party on. This party was a lot of money. These losers better appreciate it. Ciara, Amanda, and Paige acknowledge that, Wes is not anyone's favorite person, but he's walking around with this old-timey candlestick.
I loved it.
It is so funny.
Every camera angle on him, he's doing the limbo. So yeah. He's getting videos with people with it. I he's doing the splits. This is where West is fun, and I hate that I love him. He draws us all in.
I would date him in a second, no questions asked. He also posted a TikTok of him. It's POV, you're a candle, and it's just him moving the candle around the park. It was so funny. I hate that it's funny. I'm obsessed with him.
I hate that he has such good humor. I'm not as funny as him, and it pisses me off.
No, I hate that his humor is our humor. You know how we always say we need to date a guy who's funnier than us, and that's hard because we're hilarious? He is that guy that's funnier than us, and he's shitty, so we shouldn't date him, but he's the only one we're attracted to.
True.
Anyway. Kyle pees outside. Lexi's doing shots with Tom Schwartz. She asks from a guy's perspective, what's a polite way to lock someone out of your room?
I was like, get him. Get him the fuck out of your room. Don't ever have him sleep in your bed the rest of the summer. He doesn't deserve it.
So Amanda, Paige, and Ciara talk in the big bed. They talk about how genius this idea was of Snooze Fest because they took something they love and made it into a party. And then they were like, ugh, did you hear Carl wants to do a baggy clothes party because he likes baggy clothes? That's a terrible idea. Literally, what an ick. And then Ciara's
thank God we got the pirate party. That was way better than baggy clothes.
Yeah, truly. But then Ciara's like, oh my God, tea, you guys. Which
that's the best. You're like, I gotta tell you something.
No, I love when you have marinated on something too because you just haven't gotten alone time with your friends and you're like, y'all, I don't know how I didn't pull you aside immediately. I got to tell you.
Yes, but then the topic comes up because somebody else talks just adjacently. We're like, whoa, screw the baggy clothes. I've got piping tea. So Ciara tells them that Carl admitted that he had a crush on her. Paige cannot stop laughing. I am Paige. Amanda's kind of like you, but Paige is straight up laughing at the idea. Ciara
of course, told him what's meant to be will be, which again just cracks everyone up. Paige is like, that's so nice of you. Ciara does love Carl and his friendship, but she's going to jump off a bridge if she has to date someone else in this house. It's just not going to happen. And then
Ciara's given like a lot to like being on these shows for such a limited time.
No, truly, we're done. Because she came in kind of dating Luke,
and
then Austin, and then Wes. She'd meet a stranger, girly.
We're done.
But Amanda does think that Carl is confusing Ciara's kindness and friendship for something more. And Amanda is right on that money. Men always confuse kindness and friendship for more. And
because I think Carl's really struggling with like how to pick a partner. I think like he knows he didn't do well with the Lindsay situation, but I don't think he's really discovered what went wrong or like what he does want. And so he needs to do that work instead of saying like, oh, wow, I'm like interested in this person. And it's like, well, that could just be friends. Like that could just be, you guys have something in common. Like that, it's not always romantic or like truly a life partner type of connection.
I also think it's hard because his last supposed to be life partner was one of his longtime best friends.
Yep.
So it's really like all he kind of knows, right?
He's actually not, as long as we've known him, he has never like had to find a partner and like actually like cultivate that relationship and decide if somebody's right for him because he had Lauren who was in the house. Like it's just always been easy access people.
Yeah. Well, he's never really had like from what we've seen, that long a relationship. Except
he
for
did.
Lindsay.
I don't know if you remember, like I think it was his first season or second. He talked about how he almost got engaged.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So we had that person, but I don't know how long that relationship was. And he was young, so
could have also been a friend from when he was 5, and then they got engaged. You know, like he could only just be dating because Lauren was. I don't want to say Lauren and him were friends, but they were in the shared house, so you were like
it's the proximity factor. Yeah.
So, I also loved during this whole conversation when they were talking about like, oh, sad Carl, like this was embarrassing. They then are cutting to Carl dancing, which is just as uncomfortable for everyone.
Oh no.
It was so great. So it was a great party. Jesse Solomon has learned nothing. He is so fucking weird. They're talking about how like he's a fucking loser. No, a weirdo, sorry. And Ciara is like, fuck him. The comment about him pitting Ciara was rude. And Jesse's just embarrassed. He shared his real feelings, and that's the only out he has.
Yep.
He's embarrassed on all fronts that he said something. Now he has to own up to it, and he can't. He like physically cannot.
Instead of owning up to it with Lexi, he literally blew up his relationships with the girls too. Like he's willing to take everything down instead of being accountable for his words.
Absolutely. So then Lindsay kicks everyone out of the house. Bye.
Loved that.
11:09 p.m. The party is closing out. Can't wait for the second annual Snooze Fest. Tom Schwartz is just happy to be here. Him and Kyle, they're broing out. And Kyle's like, dude, you look good. And Schwartz is like, I am trying to be better. I made my bed this morning. You got to get that first win of the day, you know?
These two are useless.
No, literally. If you put these two on a deserted island, they wouldn't even try to escape. They would just immediately start broing out and just doing nothing.
They just they know how to take care of themselves, and they only know how to do their exact wants and needs. Like they don't know how to interact with people and care about what other people need and want.
They're so weird. At the same time, lock them in a room together. Let me see what they talk about. I gotta know. There's nothing there, but there is. It's a very weird dynamic.
Well, they can both talk to people, but there's no substance.
Yeah. But then Schwartz is like, my life is going great except that one void of not having kids. And then they both bond over being 42 years old. They both thought they would have kids by now. And now they have to be old dads.
Well, I'm like, what are you doing to cultivate a life to have kids? Neither of you are doing anything for it.
Well, they both got married. If that ends in divorce for one or both of them, that's
okay.
Still up in the air.
Immediately, I knew that these two guys want a wife and kids, but they don't want to be a husband and a father.
No, they just want the kid. They're the type of fathers who want their names and legacies to live on.
Yeah, and they like want to clock in and clock out. It's like, oh, I want to take my son to a baseball game. Okay, I want to be a dad for like 3 hours, and then I'm gonna go do whatever I want now.
You want to put your kids up in your office, and then you can't come home for dinner though. You're out partying in the Hamptons, dude. Home for dinner.
It's gross. It's like a doll. Like I'm like kids. I don't like that a lot of people have kids for like these selfish reasons.
Agreed. This is a fucking human you have to take care of. Like,
yes, like you're ruining children. And like, because there's no way Kyle's going to cut back on his business or cut back partying. Because if you won't do it for your wife now, why would you do it for a kid? Like, a kid's annoying. Like, let's just be honest. Like, you're not going to want to do it when the kid's waking up at 3 a.m. crying. You're going to want to be at a bar, you know, eating chips when you get home.
And this is why abortion should be legal. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents.
Agreed.
But it's 11:38 p.m. Paige is watching her cat cam. Everyone's getting ready for bed. We order a bunch of McDonald's on Kyle's card. Serves him right.
I love that when he gets it. And he's like, on my card?
They ordered it on my card. I loved Paige telling Amanda, being like, I'm ordering it all on your husband's card. And Amanda's like, do it.
I'm like, do they all have a shared like Uber account? Well, also, I thought Uber was sponsoring this. Like, get them some free food, Uber. But if not, do they have Kyle's? Does everybody have Kyle's card on their like DoorDash or whatever?
Amanda and Kyle didn't sign a prenup, right?
No, because they just got
that's
too
Amanda's
close.
Money too. Because Amanda comes from money. I think we figured out. So like, damn. Yeah. So it's Amanda. She's ordering it on Amanda's dime too. But hey, man, whatever. So Lexi calls her sister. I felt so bad. And I wanted to just hug her.
Because of like where she's sitting, like you can tell she's like really not okay. Like sitting on the ground next to your bed.
Behind her bed. Like away from the door.
I was like, oh no.
So she gives her older sister the lowdown on that, like what happened in the house, what Jesse has said. Especially like Jesse just told her this morning that he is in love with her, and then to find out that he thinks she has flags, and like he's talking some shit to the house, and she's crying, and because the rest of the house is eating McDonald's in the living room, and Gabby's like, where's Lexi?
I love that Gabby noticed her. Like, that's so sad. Like, Jesse doesn't notice her. No. Or like, even if he does, he's not willing to like, even though he knows he's going to get the brunt of it, like go comfort her.
Yeah. So Gabby gets up to check on her. She's crying, hangs up with her sister so Gabby can care for her. And Lexi's just so annoyed about Jesse. So now the timestamp, I have to call out Bravo again. They got a timestamp wrong. The timestamp then was Sunday, August 17th at 12:29 a.m. But that's wrong because now it's August 18th.
Oh, good point.
Let me edit your videos before you send them out.
It's like, stop just copying and pasting stuff. You got to know what's going on here. They did give decent
better people
timestamps during the week. I was more impressed than that one Monday that lasted 4 scenes.
So I believe we're being listened to. So I'm telling you now, if you need help spot checking your episode, I could do that for you. Just that's the thing. Pay me.
Just, you could send me it, a few days in advance. Just give me the, easy copy. I'll tell you where your problems are.
I'll let you know, no worries. And I know you have all the episodes basically because you already filmed the reunion, so everyone had to watch it. So just send them.
That's the thing. I would do it for free just to get that episode early.
Oh, I'd like to be compensated a little bit for my time.
We got to start early. We got to start early with our consultations. We got to give them something. We'll give them timestamps, and then we'll work our way up to.
I've already proved my worth. I've already proved my worth. I've called them out.
I know, but like
4 times.
We are giving them the details to fix it ahead of time.
That's on them for not reaching out.
That's true. That's true.
They can pay me for my services because I'm doing it for free right now. I'm letting them know. Just saying. Anyway. So Lexi's crying to Gabby. Gabby says she's happy to slap Jesse around a little bit. And then Lindsay also comes in because Lindsay notices that everyone's gone. And Lexi says it's just a really shitty situation that Jesse's painting her out in a way and makes it look like to the house like a certain way. And then the house is going to be less likely to support her, which I think is a really good evaluation. That's a good fear to have.
I agree. And I don't think that's necessarily happening. I think just naturally there is distance.
But that could be your first thought is like, he's already made connections and friendships with these people. Yep. And now he's putting a bad idea of me into these new people I'm meeting.
Yeah, like she knows that like she's not super close with the girls, and it's like, what if this is the reason?
And he should be her number one cheerleader, and he's just her number one enemy.
I always tell people it's up to you to like intro your partner into your friend group. And I know Lexi came and met these people without Jesse, but yeah, like he should be helping her build those relationships if he truly cared about her establishing these relationships and like having long-term friendships with his friends.
Totally agree. So then Lindsay, she's trying to listen, but then the baby kind of kicks her and she makes like a noise and they're like, oh my God, did the baby kick? And then touching the baby and feeling the kick, it did make Lexi feel better. So
yeah,
thank goodness for Gemma. But it's time for bed, but the boys don't want to go to bed. They want to go watch Zootopia on the trampoline outside.
Oh my God. Also, I thought they were going to watch it on a projector.
Yeah, it was all on one camera and they were all just like cuddled together. Yeah,
just a little laptop. I was like, oh, cute. Like lay on I love doing this where you're like, let's go lay on a trampoline at night. Like, this is what I like about the summer house is you do get to be a kid at heart a little bit. And I was like, oh, that's so fun. Like, I want to be there.
But as Schwartz and Jesse are getting ready, Lexi's in the kitchen. And
so awkward.
Jesse's like, hey, we're going to have movie night. And Lexi's like, amazing. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And then she like walks away and Schwartz is like, dude, you're in trouble. And Jesse's like, oh, I know. And so the girls all go to bed. Ciara's in bed watching earwax extractions, which I love watching. I love when the earwax extraction videos are for the girls. I'll fight about it. I
also like, I want to get it done on me.
Oh my God, I would love to see how much is coming. Did you know you're not supposed to use Q-tips in your ears? It's bad for them.
Yeah, and I do.
Well, okay.
It's too late to like stop, to be honest.
No, it's not. Your ear is a self-cleaning mechanism.
I can't. It's honestly for the water. It's not necessarily cleaning out my ear. I just don't like water being in my ear.
Your ear will get rid of it. It drains on its own.
I can't do it. So I would rather just like go get my ears cleaned like once a year.
When I tell you there were two things my dad did growing up that my mom said we're never allowed to do, and that was smoking cigarettes and using Q-tips in our ears.
Oh my God.
So I don't use Q-tips because my ears are I will sometimes if the outside gets a little crusty, I'll clean it up, but I'll never stick it in.
I'm all in. Like once I got the cotton ball part like got off and it got stuck in my ear. And I was in Italy. I was studying abroad, and I had to have an Italian doctor go in with tweezers and get it out. And I was like panicking. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying to me right now.
You're gonna fuck up your eardrum. Stop doing it. Anyway, so it's 1:09 a.m. Zootopia boys' night. Everyone eventually goes to sleep except Wes, and he's like, "I'm gonna sleep on the trampoline." And I went, "Why is that the option?"
Okay, this is so Midwest.
I know, but like, I don't know. A part of me was like, you have your own bed. I get it if you were like sharing because Tom Schwartz came and like whatever.
Yeah, I guess. But no, I think I would have taken this opportunity too. Like there's already pillows and blankets out here. Like
yeah, but mosquitoes.
I know. You're so right because it's August too. Like
are there mosquitoes in the Hamptons? There has to be.
You know what? I don't know. I think there have to be, but I think I would do this. Me and my brother used to sleep outside all the time when we were kids. We loved it.
Yeah,
like no tent.
I loved sleeping outside.
Yeah.
Crazy. But at 4:20 a.m. it starts pouring rain on
the
Wes.
Worst fear when you choose to sleep outside.
All I thought was I hope his laptop made it inside.
I thought the same thing, and like we do get that confirmed, but also, he slept for a long time while it was raining. Yeah. Like, those timestamps were so funny. And I love that they, like, showed us a normal person sleeping in a bed and, like, Wes still in the, like, drenched sheets.
It was a good 20 minutes. It felt like with the timestamps.
No, it was, like, an hour and a half, I think.
Of rain?
Yeah. Like, the last one until, like, 4:20 was, like, 2-something.
It was raining at 2-something?
Yeah, like it started drizzling, I think. And then it wasn't, like, pouring or anything. Like, you could hear the, like, thunder and, like, I was like... It hasn't really fully soaked through until like 4:20.
Wild. So then it's Sunday, August 18th. They got it right at 10:22 a.m. The house is starting to wake up. It's a rough morning for the house because we were drinking. We were up late. Everyone's feeling it. Schwartz gives us a little song. He doesn't want to leave the Hamptons, but he misses his dogs. Gordo and Butter, for those of you who don't watch Vanderpump Rules. Lexi wakes up. She is sad girl this morning. She is so emotionally exhausted. She feels manipulated. Jesse is telling Lexi one thing and then saying all these bad things about her to the house, which she feels is causing the house not to connect with her. So it's 11:02 a.m. House is starting to come into the kitchen. Bless up, Carl saved Wes's computer last night.
Thank God he took that in.
I would have fallen asleep watching Zootopia.
Or like if I like bring my computer to bed, I'll either like put it on the ground or like I would have put it like under one of the pillows next to me. Yeah. But it would have been out there.
Mine would have been playing still, wide in the open, and I would have been sleeping on my side.
Well, it wouldn't have because it would have been drenched.
No, it would have been drenched. Schwartz disturbs Ciara and Paige's morning to say goodbye. And not only does he just like say goodbye, he starts chatting. He walks in, he starts chatting. I immediately was like, get this man out of here.
No, but I loved this. I thought this was so funny.
He got me. I was cracking up. He tells them to cherish this house and the magic because he used to have a happy family in LA and now everyone hates each other. And I was like, yeah, big time. Big time.
Wait, that is so funny to think about the comparison of these two shows because like Vanderpump did, spark Summer House to start and like that's rough. That is really sad like to think if these people like broke up the same way as Vanderpump.
I also loved when like Paige and Ciara were like, we'll always love each other. And he goes, I thought that too. Because it is so much more than like a broken family. It's like one guy cheated and everyone had to pick sides. And then that affected these girls' friendships. But then three people got kicked off the show that don't really keep in touch with a lot of the other people on here. And it's crazy.
Yeah, to think about that first season all the way to season 8 was like the first fracture of people like rightfully getting fired. And then,
then they
like
lost
Scandival.
Touch. Yeah.
And then to be honest, like Scandival, I thought coming back for like season 10 or was that 10 or 11 when they came back?
11.
I thought that they would be able to get into a good groove as a larger group, obviously minus like Ariana and Sandoval. And they didn't. Like it's other people's choices, season 11, that I think really just like, it was already like cracked a little bit, but they shattered that group
terrible,
season 11. Whoever has not watched Vanderpump, if that description should tell you to go watch it.
And don't just watch the Scandival. Go to season 1. You will never regret it. You will never regret watching Vanderpump.
Because that group of that core 6, and they all had a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and then being friends is like wild to watch. That core 6's journey.
No, it's crazy. And then Sheena just is always there. Which is like
I'm so sorry, Sheena. I'm so sorry I forgot about you. I'm thinking about you now.
Sheena. But this is a conversation for a different time. But just to mention, for those of you not watching, The Valley is now airing if you want another like Vanderpump-esque show. However, I will say the group is already very fractured. And I don't think when I watch, I go, there's no way this can continue. Because you need this Summer House cohesiveness for the show to work.
It's like dark stuff. Like it isn't just like Lindsay and Carl's breakup. Like that was like sad, but that
they've
wasn't
weirdly gotten past it. It's
but like nobody cheated. Like it wasn't like, it was just like they shouldn't have gotten married. The way it happened obviously caused a scandal, but it wasn't like deep rooted where like it'll like keep this massive resentment forever. The
Valley and Vanderpump Rules hits different, dude.
Yeah. I'm like, I need therapy over these shows.
There is no family. Sorry, Tom Schwartz. That's why Tom Schwartz's brother now lives with him, because he needs some family.
I'm like, Schwartz deserves to maybe come back to the Summer House next summer just for one more party. Because he just needs a family.
He should move to New York and just join the family.
Oh, it made me this made me sad for him. I'm like, poor little boy. He just wants a family.
And he's single now. He just got
he's so lonely. Because his neighbor is Jax Taylor. Like, that's not fun.
To give you an idea of how lonely he is, he went on his ex-wife's podcast. He just has no friends, this guy.
Oh my God.
But that's what gets you. I've always said everyone feels bad for Schwartz, so no one thinks he's like not a danger. It's so crazy because we just fell into it. Anyway, so Jesse is downstairs in the kitchen and he asks Amanda and Lindsay, like, why is Ciara even mad at him for making one joke?
Oh, I was like, you're delusional. You don't know why she's mad at you?
It's so dangerous that he can't like comprehend. So Amanda's like, maybe because your coping mechanism of making jokes in serious conversations doesn't help a situation. And Jesse is like, I didn't think our friendship was so weak that one joke would ruin it. So now we're placing the blame on Ciara, of course.
Yeah, I was like, how dismissive to be like, wow, you just don't take our friendship seriously.
Of
Sir,
course.
you're throwing out jokes about why you would say you were into her to deflect what's going on with your little girlfriend. Get the fuck out of here. You're going to blame this on our friendship not being strong enough now? This is the third time I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this man.
And then Amanda was like, maybe it's just not the right time for jokes. Because these women are seeing right through this man. And then Lexi comes into the kitchen and man, is it awkward. And so Amanda's trying to
make walks up and then she like thinks about going a different direction and is like, no, I gotta go this direction. I was like, oh no.
So then it's very awkward and Amanda's trying to make conversation. So she's like, my stomach hurts. Does yours, Lexi? Did you eat the McDonald's? And Lexi's like, no, I was crying last night. And Amanda goes, I have to go, bye. This is where I took another break. I was like, give me a second.
They fought last night, but they didn't resolve anything.
No.
So like Lexi knows when she wakes up, there's still going to be a fight. And like, that's frustrating to deal with.
I got to give flowers to Lexi. She can eat a man up. She can kill him with words. I was so impressed by her. I don't even know. Sometimes I think I could do really well, but if I was sad girl, if I'm angry girl, that's one thing. If I'm sad girl and I still eat a man up like this,
I know, because she also isn't like cowering and just like totally hiding from him. Like last night, like she, like Tom Schwartz was like, oh, come watch the movie. And she was like, you guys have fun. Like she'll clearly converse with you and like have kind of normal conversation, but you're still going to know that she's pissed. Like she's not just going to hide away. She's going to come get whatever she wants from the kitchen. She's going to walk through that kitchen this morning. Like it's going to be awkward, but she'll sit there and she'll wait for the conversation.
Give her flowers. Did see who, you know? Not this girl.
Honestly.
Not this girl. So Jesse asked Lexi if she has a special order for breakfast he can make her. And
gross.
But like, she says the best thing. She goes, my special order is to stop talking shit about me. That would be nice. And then Lindsay was like, damn, eggs with a side of stop talking shit about her. And Jesse's like, I don't think I was talking shit. And Lexi's like, we should discuss this at breakfast with the whole house because they can tell you if you were talking shit or not. We can ask what they think.
This has to be resolved because I don't think he will take accountability for anything or really own up for anything. And I don't think he really knows what he said. So I think other people have to tell him what he said and they need to stop having these like sidebar conversations. Yep. Like the girls need to say everything in front of both Jesse and Lexi. Like it just all needs to be aired out.
Well, not only that, you've already told the house all of our issues, so let's have another issue in front of the whole house.
Why can't we do this when I'm here? Like, it's because I'm here we can't do this?
Yeah, the issue's about me. Let's call everyone in, make your special breakfast, and let's do this. I was genius.
I was so mad that none of those girls were down in this kitchen because we didn't get this. Like, we're not getting that like pushback on what Jesse did or didn't do. Because he's like, I didn't talk shit about you. It's like, all right.
No.
Paige, you're up. Did he? Did he not? Like, what was your perspective on this?
I don't think they did it on purpose because they didn't know.
No.
But I just wish timing had like worked out better for Lexi. I wish like
she did well.
Aligned. She was she
needs them there to really get him.
All the girls. Like Lindsay and Gabby, I think, did a good job throughout the conversation. But like to have the 6 girls, I've always said if you have Lindsay and Paige on the same team, you're not losing.
Yeah. But the girls in bed like are the ones Jesse told a lot of this stuff too.
That too.
Lindsay and Gabby will stick up for Lexi, but it's knowing what Jesse said. Yeah. And like Paige, honestly, is the one you need because she's been in the most like of those.
She's been in the middle. And then we can also bring up what Jesse said to Ciara. That's not fun. Yeah. Because that seems to be another issue. So let's bring Ciara up in here too.
That's the thing is like we need to talk about what he has said to Lexi and to Ciara, and the interaction between Jesse and Ciara the weekend Lexi wasn't there. Like,
let's talk about it.
It's not really about what Jesse thought anymore, like what his intentions were, because we know you have no boundaries and everything's a joke to you. It's about the perception that you are putting on that you want to be with Ciara. Like, that's what this is about. Not just, oh, it was all jokes, I didn't touch her. Yeah, you did. Jokes. Roll the tapes.
But then Jesse says he's happy to talk about it with everyone, but that just feels a little extra. And Lexi goes,
oh my God.
Lexi goes, not really, because I'm the one getting hurt by everything. So it's not extra for me. And she says all the drama she's had this summer is because of you, Jesse.
Amen, baby. So, I was so proud of her. I was like, get him.
I felt like her big sister. I was sitting there going like, I raised her well. I love it.
I was like, okay, she's going to have the energy and like the like forcefulness to do this at the reunion. Yeah. Like, we know the reunion already taped, but like we hadn't really seen her be this feisty.
I'm going to believe in her. And this whole conversation, I was like, I believe she's not going to just let him walk right back into her life. She's going to hold him to it. He's going to have to work if he wants back in. So then Amanda goes to Paige and Ciara's bed. Tom Schwartz is still there chatting, by the way. He's been here for hours. And Amanda's like, yo, I had to leave. The kitchen got awkward with Jesse and Lexi. And Schwartz is like, oh, Jesse is really defeated. And Ciara goes, good. He should be. Schwartz is like, I think we all stay out of it. And everyone's like, yeah, we're too... Honestly, I think the girls were too hungover to fucking deal. They were like, whatever.
Well, it's like, I'm not going to bring up the topic, but if he's talking shit, they will say something back.
Well, yeah, but also we're not going to get out of bed. We're too hungover. No, it's not worth it. So Gabby then comes into this awkward kitchen, and Gabby's like, I'm happy to tap in. Anyone need me? And Lindsay says, like, look, I think... Lexi, Jesse, you two have a lot of love for each other. And Lexi's face is pure disgust. She's like, try again. And Gabby and Lindsay both try to explain the situation to Jesse of like, you were saying things around the house.
And very calmly and like very like,
so calmly. No one's yelling.
Like bubble wrapped version. Truly. Like he didn't really have to take a lot of accountability. He could have just been like, hey, I'm really sorry I talked about you to other people. Like served up an apology in an easy route for him. And he's just like,
For those of you who might also like for some reason not watch the show and just like listen to our recaps, we are yelling more than Gabby and Lindsay did right now. Like truly it was the nicest. And these men, this also proves men fucking suck. Jesse's like being
because
attacked.
This is the benefit of Jesse being friends with these people. And they're prioritizing, I think, their friendship with Jesse, not in a bad way, but being like, hey, I just want to talk to you and like make sure you get this, like as your friend. Yeah. I'm on your side. And he just like will not play ball with them.
No, because then like Carl and Wes and Kyle are also here, and Lexi's fuming, man. She's like, grab some popcorn, sit and watch, you know, like whatever. So Gabby explains the situation of like, you have these like yellow flags with Lexi, like you told everyone in the house but her, and then like that doesn't bode well for your future relationship. It makes Lexi feel very like almost alienated from the rest of the house, you know, like all this stuff. And Jesse just goes, And Gabby's like, you don't have to shut down, though. We're just, like, telling you the situation as you have asked us to explain.
You clearly don't want to understand what her perspective is and, like, want to resolve it. Like, you just don't want to be yelled at.
Yeah, and Jesse's like, I just don't want to fight. And Gabby's like, this isn't a fight. This is a conversation. You can just respond
when
back.
Do that. When it's like, I don't want to fight with you. Babe, I'm not fighting with you. Do you want to see me fighting with you? Because, like, that's a whole experience.
You've seen fights in this house before. It's not this. And then this pisses Lexi off, and she's like, he can't fight it because he doesn't understand. That's why, like, I don't want to date him. Like, she straight up says it. He can't understand what he's doing, so I don't want to date him. And Gabby agrees. Like, Jesse just doesn't comprehend what's happening. And then Wes is just kind of like, hey, what is the conflict? I think Wes might come in late. And he's like, what's the original conflict? And Lexi says Jesse has been talking about all this stuff to everyone in the house, and it makes her seem crazy, but then says the opposite to her, and she can't trust, and says that she can't trust anyone in this house. Which is
that's scary.
So I had to pause. This is the other place I had to pause. You're trying to literally alienate her. So she only has you.
Yeah.
That's it. That's so dangerous. That is dangerous, abusive behavior.
I think his insecurity is wanting, like, he wants to be her everything. And so I don't think he realizes he's doing this.
Which
I
is
think
so scary.
It's just his insecure. Yes. Like that. To be honest, I find it way more scary. Well, I mean, both are scary in different rights, but like, this is where I feel like you can't work with him and you don't want to be in a relationship with someone who has no idea what they're doing and why.
No, truly not. Like this, because he can't grow. He can't have empathy towards you and like where you're coming from.
Yeah, like you can't talk
really
it out
scary.
and like fix the patterns. Like you can't work with anybody who just won't see your perception, your feelings, like anything that's going on.
I also think he wants to alienate Lexi, not only just so he's her everything, but alienate her in the house because then he controls the narrative of their relationship. He controls, these are his friends and he controls that narrative with them. He can't like share friends with her. That's so
true. Because like she doesn't know about reality TV. So like he's had a year under his belt. And if 8 people are saying this story and she's saying this story, like his will overpower hers with the interviews and the conversations that are going to be shown. Like he knows not everything's going to be shown on camera and like you need a narrative for it to like actually be shown. So if they're having a different conversation on their own, it's not probably going to be picked up unless it fits the greater storyline of a show. And that's just what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like he wants to be able to like have some control in that.
It is such abusive behavior. Like this is not okay. And I hope Lexi shows up to the reunion in a crazy revenge dress, like everyone does. But she deserves it.
Do you think he looked at what happened to Wes last year and say like, oh, a big problem was that Ciara had a backing and like I can't let that happen to me?
Maybe. I think the most dangerous thing about Jesse is a lot of it is like he's unconscious or like so it's in his subconscious that he's like not doing it on purpose, but he's like doing it,
but he's still doing it
selfishly. It's kind of weird. It's kind of crazy. Like, because we talk about there's a ton of dangerous men we watch on our screens constantly, but just to go to like Vanderpump Rules, like Tom Sandoval, I think is a dangerous man in a sense, but he also is aware of I think he knows exactly what he's doing all of the time, right? So like he knows he's being whatever, manipulative, crazy, blah, 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 but he can acknowledge that, you know, and can probably grow, and he's probably not always like that.
Manipulative. I think he gets manipulative to cover things up. Like it's
defend himself.
Yeah. Defensive. Whereas like Jesse's just doing this
preemptively
to do it. Yeah.
But he like isn't aware of it. Like it's the craziest thing to watch it because like I said, we see so many shitty men, and I'll say like 90% of them know what they're doing, right? 90% of them are laying the breadcrumbs, right? Like, but there's one of occasionally that pops up, and you're like, that's crazy, dude. Like he cannot see it. He's clearly never been to therapy. He's never had to look at his own actions. He's never been held accountable for fucking anything.
It's the lack of self-awareness is terrifying.
It's terrifying.
Like I think I said this in a comment on our Instagram. Like, can you imagine if this wasn't all recorded, or even there's conversations that aren't recorded? Like, you're questioning everything. Like,
this is crazy.
Lexi is kind of lucky to be able to go to that reunion and say, "You said this. We all saw this."
Yeah. No, like the fact that people are in real relationships with these types of people. I'll even say, I think Craig Conover fucking sucks, but I think he does things preemptively that he knows about, right? He knows to plant the seeds. He's very smart. He's cunning like that. Again, I just think Jesse like doesn't even realize how insane he is. Yeah. But he is, and that's the most dangerous because he'll never see your side of things. He'll never.
And you know what I'm scared about is he's going to be so manipulative at that reunion and just give us some like white boy tears and like, I'm so sorry, I now see what I did. But like, it's just performative. Like, I think he's just going to show up, give some apology. I think he's going to cry and like want to like wipe the slate clean. But it's giving me Jax Taylor, to be honest. Like those early years where he did all of that stuff and would want to like just say sorry and move on. And because like he was likable, we all did, and we would give him another chance, but he would do nothing to change anything.
The thing though I love about the Bravo fan base is that we hold no man with any kind of love or care at this point. Because here's the thing, what Wes did was shitty, for sure, terrible. And we have dogged him for a year at this point of just dragging him. And what he did, I'm telling you right now, I'm picking Wes 10 out of 10 times compared to Jesse. Absolutely. This man deserves the Jax Taylor treatment times 10 at this point. Like in 2024, no, sir. This is crazy. And at least Jax goes to, I don't know, Reiki therapy. Jesse hasn't even done that.
Shut up. That was so performative. No, he did not do anything. He always said he would go to therapy. He never really did anything. No, and even now, he's still so fucking performative here in present day. It's so gross. You will do anything but actually take accountability and work on yourself. This isn't a Jax
cast, but like whatever we did to Jax and Wes
we
and
need to
Kyle,
do the opposite. Well, we need to do the
Sandoval.
opposite of what we did to Jax Taylor in the early years. We need to actually hold this man's feet to the fire. Like, I'm not having it. His stupid songs, not listening to him. I don't interact with people like this.
Your castmates might forgive you. The Bravo universe, I hope never does. It's
a stain on your reputation forever.
Oh my God. I never want to date this man. Remember when I was like, I'm wrong. Except about Wes. I'll die on the hill. Anyway. So, whatever. So Lexi we're all explaining to Wes. That's where we left off. What the problem is. And Lexi mentions that Jesse got mad at Lexi for last weekend for apparently flirting with you, Wes, at the club. And Wes kind of has a look of like, what the fuck? And he even says in his interview, he's like, maybe we hugged? I don't even fucking remember. And I was really hoping like Wes would at this point be like, damn, dude, my friend is crazy. You know, like just have a moment.
I know.
To be like,
we need men to start calling men out.
Truly. So that's what I was hoping. We'll get to what actually happens. But at this point, I was like, I hope Wes is like, dude, this dude's fucking crazy, right?
I wish what Wes said in his interview, he said in the house. Like, yes, we didn't flirt. Like, or say even just definitive.
Or even right here be like, dude, we didn't flirt. What were you talking about? But of course, Jesse's like, that's not even true. And Lexi's like, what? And I too was like, excuse me.
But then he says like what he said, and I'm like, that's not good. That's not good either.
He was trying to compare it to his behavior from the weekend Lexi was gone, except for the toe sucking, which was bad.
I know that's wrong.
And Lexi's pissed. Lexi is so mad. And she says, this is why everyone asks, why aren't you boyfriend and girlfriend? This is why, because Jesse has fat ass red flags and she doesn't want to be his girlfriend yet. And I went,
incredible.
Speak on it.
Incredible.
And just let's get rid of the term exclusive. Lexi doesn't want to be exclusive with him anymore. She's done. And I went to break up at the kitchen in front of everyone is amazing. Do it more. Let's normalize dumping men in public. Because I've said it before, a woman's greatest fear is an angry man, and a man's greatest fear is to be embarrassed, specifically by a woman. So let's publicly embarrass the fuck out of them.
Oh my God, it was incredible. Like, Summer House loves a like dinner time fight, but to be honest, over any table, they love to fight. So this was enjoyable just from the like spectacle. But I agree, like shove it in that man's face. Like, we're done here.
He embarrasses you to the whole house. Let's fucking embarrass him back. If I was Lexi or Gabby, I wouldn't be able to contain my excitement. I would have started clapping. Woo! I would have been like, yeah, get him! Like, immediately. There's no way I'm holding back. Gabby's sitting there and she's like, good job. I was like, no. I bring out the sparklers that was amazing. No, because
his ego is so fucking fragile. He probably would have started crying if like they did that.
Oh my God. I would have called the upstairs crew. I would have been like, yo, you just missed it. It was the greatest.
I would have been shouting to the top being like, hey ladies, you're missing out on this announcement, but I want to make sure everybody knows
Lexi
we're
just killed Jesse Solomon. It was crazy. Best thing I've ever seen.
I did have a little like, oh no, like, what? Are they actually done? Because like if she gives this man grace, she's back on my shit list.
I was kind of hoping she wouldn't. I was like, I don't think she will. At this point, I was like, I don't think she will, right?
I'm worried because I knew I knew how many episodes we still have, and we still haven't gotten that scene where Lexi yells at the dinner table. So I'm like,
at
What's going to happen
Ciara.
here?
Yeah.
What's going to happen here?
So it's 11:38 a.m. Lexi is done. And fucking loser Kyle shows up and he's like, it's a Sunday.
God.
Take a beat. Have a chat. And Lexi's like, no, everyone should be involved.
He tells them to stop yelling. It's like, we're not yelling, babe.
Oh my God. When he says stop yelling and Gabby's like, no one is yelling.
Like, why do Jesse and Kyle say that? They're like, you're really arguing here. You're really yelling. And it's like, we're having a conversation that we're passionate about. That doesn't mean we're yelling at someone.
I love to, if someone tells me to stop yelling, depending on the person in the situation, I love to handle it in one of two ways. Either the way they did, where very calmly I go, no one's yelling. Or I go, you want to see yelling? And I start yelling. I go, you thought I was yelling before? Joke's on you. I'm about to fucking blow.
Like, I'm going to start now, bitch.
You want a scene? You think I'm causing a scene? Let's cause the scene. Let's do it. Let's scene it up. Let's call all the girls. Hey, you guys.
That's the thing. I feel like I would have really started the thing going and I would have revved it all back up.
I would have him and been like, let's vote. Who thinks I'm causing a scene before this? You think so? Here I go. Let's just yell. If everyone already thinks a woman's yelling, let's just yell some more.
Let me just prove it right. Because why am I going to why are you going to yell at me for something I'm not doing? You can yell at me for something I'm actually doing.
Why would I sit here and talk calmly and try to convince you I wasn't yelling? You want me yelling? Hey.
I'm ready.
Your wish is my command, baby doll. Let's do this. Girly pop, you haven't seen anything yet.
I was so pissed at Kyle. I was like, sit the fuck down, you idiot.
But he's like, let's have a chat. And Lexi's like, no, we just had a chat. Everyone should be involved if we're going to do a fucking chat since the whole house is involved anyway. And she also tries to look at Kyle and be like, sit back down. Goodbye. And then this is when Kyle says, let's pipe down a little. And I went, kill him. Oh my God. Kill him. Kill him right on the spot. Carl somehow moved up in my shit list because he shut the fuck up for once in his life.
It's annoying because men look good because of in comparison. The other men in this house make themselves look like idiots. So the others rise to the top and it's like, you're not
the Southern
good.
Charm
you
effect.
Only look good in comparison.
It's the Southern
how is
Charm
Tom
effect.
Schwartz the best guy on this screen this episode? And then we got Carl and then West and then Kyle and then Jesse. No. You all suck.
Emerald will always be my number one. He has yet to disappoint me.
He wasn't on this one.
I know, but I hold his memory. Oh my God. I don't ever tell me to pipe down. I will grab a pipe and hit you in the fucking head with it. I'm going to pipe right up, take this pipe, fucking kill you with it, and admit
shove
to
it
the
right
police.
Up your ass.
I'm admitting to the police that I did it. It was Alicia in the kitchen with the lead pipe. It was me. Don't tell me to pipe down. Again. Oh, I'm actually sweating.
I was red when Kyle started talking. I was like, how dare you? I defended you and said that you were good when people were angry and you sort things out. And you proved me fucking wrong. I knew never to trust a man.
I'm actually sweating. Anyway. And this is when Lexi's like, she kind of turns and she's like leaving. She goes, I feel insane. And I was like, girl, we literally. And then that's when Carl somehow, again, moves up on my shit list. He's like, it's this house. We've all been there. It is.
I really liked him saying that because I think it validated what she was feeling and being like, we have all been there. Like
it's the house picks sides. You think you're crazy. It's a lot. It's okay. So it's 12:22 p.m. It's time to leave. Jesse and Wes go upstairs. Jesse's like, that kitchen was brutal. And I was like, that was so easy. Oh, you want brutal? Let me loose in this house.
That's the thing.
I'll show brutal.
I was so angry those girls weren't there because he got off scot-free because nobody was saying what he actually said because he doesn't have a memory. Dude. And all three of those girls who have heard it were upstairs, which is kind of fine. But we need a serious talk still. I still want this talk where the girls are like, this is what you said to us.
Brutal is Kyle drunkenly walking up the stairs and Paige yelling at him going, why can't she have a swimsuit line? Let her fail. Like, that was a little brutal, right? Yeah. Brutal is Danielle and Ciara fighting at the dinner table and a glass being thrown at someone. Brutal is Paige reading Austin to filth because he shut the door in her face. Like, that's brutal. This was
breakfast.
Very easy. Yeah, what the fuck?
This was a crack of an egg.
Okay, I think we take a vote. All the Bravo people.
There's just two of us.
All the Bravo, all the Bravo people who listen to this. I say next summer, if we have this same cast, because it's dependent on that, we do 20 minutes. Meredith and I are let loose in this house, and we give them the opportunity or the experience of brutality, and then we leave. Right?
Hear me out.
20 minutes.
Let me build on that idea.
Okay.
Paintball guns. Boys are standing against a wall.
Ooh.
And we confront them with the things that they have done in the past. And they have to tell us what they did wrong and why.
Ooh. No, I like that, but I want to yell at them. We could do both.
Yeah. Oh, listen. We can multitask, babe.
I want to make them cry emotionally, and then you physically come in with the paintball, because I could do it. It would be light work for me.
Yeah, like
17-page email. I'm coming with a novel of shit you've done to me and to the other girls, because I've been accosted by you too.
It's like the movie night on Love Island. Like, give me the blow up projector. Let's roll the tapes, and then we can legit discuss it.
But a live roasting after. Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great.
You know, a combo of the girls roasting the guys, us confronting them with their behavior, showing the tapes, and when they get things wrong or we just are annoyed in general, we fire off insults and or paintballs.
Let's just punish them. They are required to listen to this podcast episode specifically because they've all fucking committed crimes against us this episode.
They have all committed crimes against humanity.
Truly, truly trash. And I say, if they are listening, if the punishment gets implemented, you all fucking suck. You're worth nothing. My sad, pathetic life is worth more than yours. And I have maybe 10 followers on Instagram. No one likes me. And I'm more beloved than you. That's real talk.
That felt nice to hear because I've been deep in Handmaid's Tale, and so I'm just like full of men that suck.
Oh, terrible.
So like the men of Gilead also need to listen to that.
We have to talk about something different.
I know.
No. Anyway, so Jesse's like, oh, it was so brutal. Wes is like, do you agree with what she's saying? And Jesse's like, not at all. Clearly she had flags for a reason.
This is where I was like, you're delusional, sir.
Yeah. And Jesse's like, the way she's acting is ridiculous.
I hate when people do that. I hate when people do that. He's turning it around on her. Like, she's the one causing these problems. Your actions were what started this. She's having a reaction to you. And you're, like, making that the bigger deal.
He's literally crazy. I cannot describe.
There's like a anagram of like how like narcissists like turn things against people. And I'm not saying, because I think the word narcissist is like overused, but like there are like clear ways that people like turn it back on the person who is having a reaction to what they've done and then become the victim themselves. Like Jesse is in that era of like shifting it into he's the victim of Lexi like being upset. And it's like, well, why do you think she's upset, sir? What do you think she's fucking upset about?
Dare I say he's a bigger villain than Sandoval. This man is scary. Anyway, so Jesse then says, I knew I should have just talked shit to you, Wes. And Wes
that's like, better?
Wes is like, look, your best out is to just say sorry and move on. Like, just apologize. Scary. And he goes, and like, it's like, oh, if Lexi wanted to make it work, then what? And Jesse's like, I would work on it if she really wanted to make it work. But it's more negative than positive right now. And Wes is like, yeah, dude, I'm with you. It's not even worth it. And I'm like, I hate men who don't hold other men accountable.
Yeah.
Look at your friend and be like, bro, you should apologize. It's kind of crazy. I don't know what you could even do it. Like, look, I'm not really sure what happened. Like, I'll watch the show back eventually, LOL. But for right now, I think it's best. Like, she's obviously feeling some sort of way. Like, apologize.
That's what it is like, you don't have to crucify him as your friend, but you could, like, Wes could say, hey, she's clearly upset hearing that you have been saying stuff, and maybe rightfully so, to, like, the girls, but, like, her feelings are hurt, so, like, just go apologize for hurting her feelings.
But no, the way she's acting is ridiculous. So it's time to leave, thank God. We say goodbye to everyone, including Tom Schwartz, who his ride is a little late, so he is waiting on the steps. Love him, my dear child, Tom Schwartz. So then we're back in New York City. It's Monday. Danielle is here with Lindsay at her doctor's appointment. Danielle is dressed so nice to the tens for a doctor's appointment. Amazing.
Also, this gave me excitement for, like, a version of the Valley, like, show for this cast. Like, them in the city just doing their stuff. Like, I was like, I loved seeing Danielle and Lindsay together just like, at a doctor's appointment. Like, normal people things.
Well, it's also lovely because they're like, we're in such a different place than we were last year because, you know, they were fighting, they weren't friends. And then Lindsay's also like, and I was almost dumped at the altar, basically. And I was like, literally.
It's crazy. Like, the last 2 years of their friendship, diabolical.
And I gotta say, for Danielle and all her flaws, she is pretty funny because then she looks at Lindsay, she goes, at least for your next wedding, you'll have a normal flower girl. I was cracking up because if y'all remember, the last one was Kyle. Him and Luke were Andrea, flower boys.
I never connected Kyle being a flower boy to his new drink, Flower Boy.
What?
Like, his new drink is, like, called Flower Boy. And I was like, holy shit.
Is it like a weed
That's
drink?
Actually kind of funny. Yeah.
Oh, that's genius.
I will say Kyle is good at business.
He's good at what he does. If he could just act better, people would support his business more.
I want the business Kyle in, like, everyday life.
Yeah. His influencer Kyle's not it. It's not happening. Okay, so then we see the baby. Lindsay gets really emotional talking about her baby, and then I got kind of emotional. Why do I feel like I know these people? It's so creepy.
Well, I mean, we have a parasocial relationship with them. We've seen 9 years of their life. It is, like, really cool to see Lindsay finally become a mom because that's what she has wanted for so long.
On her timeline. Danielle asks about what kind of tear is Lindsay going to get? Can we know that when the baby gets pushed out?
I was do not do this if you were my friend. I don't want to think about that.
It was so funny because Lindsay's like, is there anything I can do to prevent it? And the doctor's like, yeah, you could start massaging the area, the vagina. And Lindsay's like, oh, kind of like a finger bang. And I was dying laughing. These two together.
This gave me the first green light that maybe Carl and Lindsay could be friends, because if she can joke about little things in their relationship, I mean, that was relationship numero uno. Yeah. But, like, if she can look back at the history and kind of laugh about just the generalness of her and Carl, I feel like one day they could be friends again.
They did it.
Friendlier.
They did it 3 times. This, when Lindsay's like, last year I was basically dumped at the altar. That was funny. And then when they were like, we'll have a normal flower girl at the next wedding. These two were funny. And I think it's because, like, they're so comfortable. Like, no one else can joke with Lindsay like this except Danielle.
I agree.
So it's, like, very funny. Okay, so then it's Wednesday. And Jesse is at Lexi's apartment. And I was like,
no.
But I said, there are cameras here, so we're not alone. We're not alone, at least. So we're here to talk. Jesse was just so shocked when Lexi was angry at him. He didn't like that Lexi made him out to be a monster. And Lexi says, but you see, you were kind of the monster in my story.
Like, you said it.
You were a monster. And Jesse doesn't know if Lexi can trust him again. And I was like, oh, he's going to break up with her, but do the thing where he's like, you can't trust me, so I should go. You know, where he, like, puts it on her. But instead,
I would actually like that, because I think Lexi already doesn't really want to be with him. And so if he's not grifting and, like, trying so hard, I don't think they would get back together. But I think his ego can't handle her ending it.
Yeah. But then Jesse's like, look, I know I shouldn't have sucked anyone's toe. And I was like, literally, that's not even the point.
That anymore. Like,
we've moved on from the toe.
That to diminish what you did by talking behind her back, because you're like, that was actually a big deal. Like, he's only owning up to that to diminish the other stuff.
And he didn't even like owning up to that. He blamed Emerald for saying something about it. And that Emerald was the one that said suck his toe.
And that's like a horse that we've beaten dead. So he's like finally willing to say he did it because we like had to have weeks of talking about it and how that was inappropriate. Every person said that was inappropriate.
Literally scream, cry, bang my head against a wall. I
was like, why is the toe being brought up? I cannot stand him.
My eye roll would have just been so crazy. It probably would have gotten stuck. My eyes would have been behind my head because I would have just been like, I can't. Anyway, so Jesse says he's so sorry. He didn't realize what he was doing and he messed up. And he likes Lexi so much and doesn't want them to stop seeing each other based off actions he took. And when I tell you, I screamed because I said, the reason you would break up or stop seeing someone is because of actions you do against that person. That's the exact definition of breaking up. Hey, yeah. no one's breaking up because like the season changed. We're breaking up because you did something shitty. But you don't want to see us break up because you did something
Yeah, you're treating me poorly. Like,
when I tell you, I scream.
Again, he's just like, oh, because of a little slip up, or like, it's like, he keeps diminishing it. Like, it's no big deal.
Want to know the best part? I bet the action he's talking about is the toe.
I think he thinks that that's the biggest deal in the world. And it's like, I think genuinely Lexi has moved past that. I think she realized that was a very situational thing.
The toe is inappropriate.
Yeah. She talked to him about it. Sure. I am more concerned about you shit talking me because that will happen all the time.
And not acknowledging it. And then telling me, I'm most concerned with him telling Lexi that she shouldn't trust everyone in the house. That's insane.
I know.
If I was Lexi's friend, I would be like, no. Girl, no.
Similar to the toe thing, because for me, it's like, okay, you did a dumb thing, but it's the aftershocks of everything after. And same with this. It's like, okay, you got caught, you were shit talking her, but like, if you just you didn't have to give the best apology in the world. I know, like, watching reality TV, we're all like prim and proper with how we expect people to give apologies when we also don't do it the same way. But he has given nothing. Like, it wasn't that hard to get out of this.
Truly. He could have done like even an I'm sorry, but he didn't do that. He didn't even add the but. He couldn't say I'm sorry, but. So Lexi says she doesn't want to fight in relationships because it exhausts her. But she just doesn't think that her and Jesse are compatible. And Jesse's like, oh, but we have a great connection. He just wants to fuck her. I've said it since the beginning. But
and now he doesn't want to look like a bad guy. He's like trying to ride this out, I think, until they finish filming and then end things.
You know, the worst part is we know they date in September.
I know. Alicia, I'm gonna put this out there. This is just kind of, I wonder if this is going to happen. And if this is how it happens, I am going to be so upset that I'm on point with this. But I think they go back to the house next weekend. That's when they have that yelling fight at the dinner table. And it all gets aired out. I think Lexi forgives him. They date into September. I think he breaks up with her.
I think so too. I mean... Yeah, I think you're on point.
Because I think that's why she is doing the interviews she's doing and why she is like so upset and kind of attacking Ciara in this, because I don't think she ended the relationship. So then I think she's hurt and is taking it out on both of them, rightfully so to him. But
I agree. But it doesn't seem like, I mean, I didn't watch all of Watch What Happens Live. I just saw clips. But it seems like Ciara has watched and been like, fuck Jesse Solomon. And she even said, she's like, I saw him at Coachella. We didn't go together, but like, we're just party friends.
Ciara said that, like, looking back on it, it's not as bad as she like thought it was whenever it was like being talked about in the house, which I agree. I don't think the conversations Jesse actually had are like,
it's the after.
Yeah, it's just that like when I think it's the disparity of like what he's saying to her and what he's saying to his friends, like, in that he won't own up to it.
Yeah.
Like, you're allowed to like shit talk people and you're allowed to like have concerns about somebody you're interested in. But when you're confronted with that, what are you going to do about it?
No, it's crazy. So Lexi says, this is a choice they have to make. Is it worth trying or not? And I went,
when they left it at that, I was like, please don't.
It's not
please
worth
make
it.
The reports be incorrect and like Jesse dated somebody else, because I just can't do this.
It's not worth it. I'm telling you, it's not worth it.
The good thing for us is we only have a few more episodes, so it's not like we have to see them really make up and be ooey gooey. That relationship is in the fall. We don't have to deal with it.
Thank God. But Lexi girl, here's the thing. If you get back with him, which I know you do, that's a mistake. But at the end of the day, I will have any woman's back. I will. These shitty ass men, no, girl, you could do better. I'm gonna be mad at you for a little, but I'm gonna get over it, and I'm gonna walk you through this, and I'm gonna cheer for you. But you're gonna anger me. I know it. I know you're gonna
hear
anger
me
me.
Out. Next season, they are all back in the house. Lexi comes in and does like pulls an Emerald and has a different guy like every night.
Ooh.
And like Jesse just has to watch it happen. And I want like Lexi and Ciara to have like a tough conversation. And they're basically going to be like Lindsay and Ciara were for years, I think. And then like maybe they do build a friendship.
I do think a great thing about Ciara is even if she's friends with a man, she still loves womankind over that man. You know what I mean? So I think Ciara might just be like, dude, stop talking shit. But I think in the end, she will also acknowledge like Jesse's not shit
I don't think she's all that bothered. I think she's just annoyed with all the comments. But if like Lexi dislikes her, I just don't think she holds on to it the same way Lexi does.
Yeah, I don't think she's bothered. But I do think at the end of the day, Ciara's always going to pick a woman over a man. It doesn't matter if she's friends with Jesse or she's not with Lexi. At the end of the day,
people to like stop being upset that she took a picture with Lexi or with Jesse. It's not that big of a deal if you're like at an event and you like take a photo with him.
She cleared up. They did not go to Coachella together. Yeah. They just saw each other there. And she said, I think one of the best disses you can give someone who thinks they're your friend is to say like, they're a good person to party with because you're not my friend really then. We just go get drunk. I can't hang out with you sober. What does that say? So we cut to Thursday then. We're at lunch with Amanda and Kyle. Amanda tells us she was feeling really lost last year, struggling mentally and professionally. But now she's in a really good place with her medication. Her and Kyle are in a really good place in their relationship. She's starting to find herself again and she's figuring out what she wants, which I love. Normalize this in your 30s. Normalize this which Amanda is in her 30s. She is the mom of the girls, of the bed girls. So I love that. And Kyle tells her, he's like, hey, I took a fertility test. I'm scared that I'm sterile, basically. And Amanda's like, okay, it is a scary thought, but like, it wouldn't be the end of the world. And Kyle's like, what? What are you talking about? It would be the end of my world. And Amanda's like, look, I'm in a weird place where like some days I wonder like why we're not already pregnant. And other days I wonder if I should like even have kids. And it's mainly because of like how Amanda has been struggling and she finds it really hard to take care of herself. So like, why would she add something else to take care of into that mix if she's having a hard time with just herself?
I really appreciate the way she's thinking about that. No, like she's thinking about the being she would have to care for.
And truly, I hate when people are like, not having kids is selfish. She is being selfless thinking about this. She's like, how would I take care of this kid and give them a good life if I'm not having a good life right now?
That's the thing. She's like, I am not going to be a mom unless I can commit everything to it and be the best mom I could be. And like right now, she's like, I can barely be good to myself.
Oh, and I love. And Kyle, though, he's like, hang on. How long have you been feeling this way? And Amanda's like, I don't know, a year. And he's like, a year?
I do agree with him. Maybe she should have said something. That is a long time. But I think it's one of those intrusive thoughts sometimes where you're like, is this how I feel? I don't know if this is really how I feel. Yeah. Like, because I'm depressed, I feel this way.
But she also says to Kyle, she's like, you're not itching to be a dad. Agree. Like, if this isn't a conversation where maybe if Kyle had said, like, hey, I want to start having a family, Amanda then could have brought this up.
Yeah, like, because he even hid his fertility testing from her. Not hid, but like, it's not like they were openly talking about this stuff.
If this is not a concern I should be worried about, I'm not going to voice Amanda hasn't even come to like a conclusion on what she wants, it sounds like. So why is she just going to like be like, hey, today I want to have kids and then, but yesterday I didn't, right? Like, yeah, there's really no point to that. It's kind of the same thing, like, right, if we're in a relationship and I'm scared of earthquakes, why would I like tell you about my fear of an earthquake if we don't live in a place that has earthquakes? Like, like what the fuck? But it's not.
Yeah, it kind of just like isn't coming up. And he's a fucking man-child. So like, why are we talking about kids when you can't even come home and sleep in our bed?
You were out till 5 a.m. and then you fell asleep on a couch the other night. Like, what are we doing?
Don't give him that much credit. It was a chair.
You're right. Sorry. So
his mouth was wide open.
Amanda doesn't love that she feels this way, but she has to make sure she's okay first. And Kyle's like, I like Kyle saying, he's like, okay, I'm not mad. I'm just like processing this.
Yes. I was very concerned when she first said it, that he was going to be like, you're taking kids away from me.
Terrible. And then he does say, he's like, we've been married 3 years. Like, time is ticking. And I was like, that's not how that works. It's your biological clock, not your marriage clock.
Yeah.
And also, you were together for 6 and you wouldn't pop the question.
Yeah, that's so true.
Where were we at 25, my guy? Not even. You weren't even on the show at 25. Where were we at 35, my guy? You weren't even engaged. Like, what are we talking about, you know?
Yeah.
But Kyle you said it before, he really wants kids, but he doesn't want to be a dad, but he wants those kids.
And I think I've seen this before in like, I forget if it was like a book or a movie where the girl realized she might be infertile and was like scared to tell like the partner because like that's just, it's like sad when it like.
It's a sad thing.
It feels like your fault. Like,
yes.
And so like she said it out loud and he was like, you're taking this away from me. And it's like, whoa. We never even discussed kids. So like I was so scared Kyle was going to react that way.
A little bit,
but I am proud of him of how he reacted. Like that is like a bomb. If it's like, whoa, wait, we haven't talked about it, but I did dream this life for us.
Yeah.
What will our life look like now? Like, let's discuss it. I'm happy with the way he reacted overall.
I think Kyle can also acknowledge, right? Like he's been married to Amanda. He's been dating her for how long? Like he could probably tell, which we all did on TV even, that Amanda has been a little off. She was figuring out her depression. She was very unhappy. And I imagine when you're married and living with this person, you see it extra, right?
I think Kyle is probably really supportive when Amanda is like, depressed.
So I think like he can probably acknowledge that like, okay, yes, that would not be the best environment to bring a kid in. But also like Kyle also has to think, right, he's going to be running a whole ass company and he was probably going to expect Amanda to do most of the work. So like, do you want to have a kid then with someone who's depressed? Can they take care of this kid? Like it's something that Kyle really needs to look at. And I do think
her like fears over it.
I do think he prioritizes Amanda's mental health, or at least like tries to help her make it a priority. So I would hope that he can see that like for everyone's mental health, maybe this is not the best. And for this child's life, maybe it's not the best environment.
I also don't think Kyle would be the person to be like, it's your body. Like, I think he's the type of to be like, okay, if you really don't want to do this to your body, like, I'm not going to force you into that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he would really be that angry if she said no. I think it's just like this world he thought he would have. It's like him processing the change of what their world would look like. Because he said, like, in his interview, you know, I built Loverboy for our kids' future and all of this stuff. So it's like just this, I think he gets focused on an idea and he commits to it so hard, which is really great. But the change of the vision would be a transition.
Do you think, because a lot of men have a weird God complex about this, if Kyle was sterile, right? Or if Amanda said we could have a kid, but I don't want to go through the pregnancy hormones or whatever, do you think he would be okay with like adopting and or like a surrogate? Or using a sperm donor or something?
I truly think he would. I think it would be a big shock. Like similar to not having kids, I think it would be a big transition for him just because he has this vision in his head. But I think he would adopt. I think sperm donor is harder for some people to be like, it's half of your kid, but not mine.
Yeah.
I think they would adopt over. Like, I think
maybe
men would sometimes, this is just my opinion. I don't have any facts about it, but I think Kyle would adopt.
Amazing. Okay, so next time, Lindsay doesn't believe Carl hooked up with anyone.
Girlie will not take her foot off his neck.
I literally went, she's probably right. I out loud was like, what? The whole summer he's like, oh, I want to hook up. I haven't hooked up with anyone since Lindsay. And then he goes alone to Montauk and he's like, I did hook up with someone. Suspicious.
I do wonder if he kind of woke up in August and was like, shit, I've said a lot of this stuff on camera. Like, I need to.
We said lie about it. Lie about it.
Yes.
So 100%.
Hilarious. Lindsay's like, I'm going to call him out whether it's true or false.
She doesn't even care. She's like, for fun, I'm just going to do it. Yeah. Jesse and Lexi are still working it out, and Ciara won't let Jesse off so easy. So let's do fun, not fun. Can we just get not fun? It's a double.
It's Jesse.
It's Jesse.
I can't wait for you to show the records at the end of the season, because I swear it's been Jesse for me every time.
Jesse, and I'm gonna just throw in Carl though, because oh my god, I want to die.
I already forgot about him because Jesse was that bad.
I'll never forget. Optimal level is the new tan line. It's terrible.
You will never let me forget.
Never. Okay, who's your fun though? There was a good amount, I would say. Can I go?
Yeah, you go first.
Oh, I'm picking Lexi. Dude, I was cheering in my seat. She better not get back with him, because then she might have to be my not fun. But it was amazing. I was having a blast watching her. Like I said, if I was there, hype woman number one. I am yelling. I'm like, and keep going, girl. Don't stop now. Let me get you Kyle's megaphone so you can say it louder. Oh my God. I would have made Kyle put on a beat to her. It would have sounded like a rap. Balloons. I would have had the best time.
Well, you might get to experience it again during the reunion.
Eat a man up.
I'm going with Ciara, because if you remember, she came into this weekend skirting Jesse, like trying to hug her, because we don't touch anymore. And she pushed him off so fast, like, you are not going to pity me. You can fuck right off. And they didn't even make up. Like, when they were leaving the house, he didn't make up with her. Like, there's still beef between those two, and that girl knows how to hold a grudge.
As there should be. Okay, so we have some thoughts from our patrons. So Lindsay R says, love this episode. Good to see Lexi. This was last week. Sorry, but everything tied in. It was still the same day. It felt like.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to see Lexi's side of the Insta stuff, and then her calling out Jesse for making her look like the bad one. He just cannot empathize that talking shit behind her back might hurt her. Kind of similar how Wes couldn't understand how talking to the New York Times might hurt Ciara. Oh. And I'm caught. My love of Wes has been called out again. I get it. Glad the girls are supportive of Lexi. For some reason, I keep thinking about Andrea and how he would never treat a girl like this. Oh, I miss him.
But even if he did, like, remember when he kind of snubbed Maya? He immediately apologized, immediately corrected his behavior. Yeah. Like, nobody needs to be perfect, but, like, be better.
Andrea is one of those men that does not qualify as a loser or a weirdo from what I have seen so far.
I mean, he's fucking gorgeous, too.
He's beautiful. I know. Anyway, okay, so tonight's episode, Amy Jones said, Snooze Fest seemed like a fun party, but I found this episode pretty boring. It truly was.
I don't know. I love when they fight.
Jesse has no idea how to be in a relationship. 5 weeks in, he should be talking Lexi up to everyone and being annoying with how into her he is. Not nitpicking. Save that for later in the relationship.
That's so true. It's been 5 weeks.
No, literally. At least a year in. Just wait. Okay, so Amy's fun is Ciara. I love her clear expression of boundaries and her care for Carl. Ugh, come on. Anyway, sorry. It's just a Carl issue. Not fun. Jesse or Schwartz? Why was he there? He added nothing, which would made him the perfect man.
You know what? He added some humor to the episode that I really needed.
Oh, and then Amy ends with, quick plug for joining Patreon. Do it. I'm having the best time listening to recaps of old seasons. I'm in Vanderpump season 3. I listen as I'm falling asleep. It's delightful. Oh my God, what a terrible thing to fall asleep to, Amy. We just yelled at you.
I noticed this is really smart. People will like the episodes that they've listened to like keep track of like what they are, because great. On Patreon it's harder to tell. Like there isn't like a listen to, like obviously in like Apple Podcasts, but you can also attach the RSS feed to your Apple Podcasts, so they all come through there. So a patron told me to launch it on our side, so I only know it.
Well, Amy, I'm so sorry if you fall asleep to this episode though, because I yelled a lot.
I'll show you yelling.
Yeah, I'll show you. Anyway, Amy says it's delightful. Like I'm listening to my friends gossip in the next room. Oh, I love that. I'll take that. And I'm having very funny dreams with cameos from the cast. Oh God, the dreams you're gonna get. Okay, Megan D said, Jesse is a prick. How are you going to tell Ciara, of all people, that you were flirting with her out of pity? That girl doesn't need your pity. Have you seen her? If you weren't on the show, she wouldn't acknowledge your presence. No,
True.
literally.
That's so true. We always say, like, Paige would bully us, but, like, Ciara would look right through me.
Oh, amazing.
I'm not pretty enough to be seen by her.
No, never. But she loves women, so I think she would support you just out of you being a woman.
But, like, her and her, like, walking in New York City, she would just be like, I think if, like, I was at, like, a meet and greet, she'd be like, hi. So nice.
I have met her at a meet and greet. She was very nice. She was great. Snooze Fest was the best. Ciara handled the Carl situation well. She let him down, but gave him some hope. No.
No hope.
That I hope he doesn't linger on, because I'm Team Ciara needs a non-Bravo boy. Agreed. Tom should come back for another weekend. I actually enjoyed him being there. Weirdly, same. I agree. Tom and Kyle talking about being in their 60s when their kids are in their 20s, and I felt like I'm in my 30s without kids, but I have 2 dogs. No, same. I thought about it and went, well, I'm too old to have kids now, so I guess.
Okay, but they also said the age if they had kids right that minute. Like, we all know neither of you are having kids in the next 9 months.
One of you is single and the other one might be sterile. What are we talking about?
Single and sterile. Like, I'm dying.
Megan says, Lexi's making valid points. Jesse made his own bed. He can deal with that now. Oh my God, Danielle and Lindsay at the OB office. Amanda's making valid points about not being ready for kids. And Jesse showing up like a lost puppy at Lexi's apartment. No, literally pathetic. Okay, and last one. Lindsay R says, the way Carl said he has a crush on Ciara was awkward, but way less awkward than I thought it was going to be.
I agree. I did notice that too. It could have been way worse compared to Carl at the start of this season.
And her letting him down easy by saying she wants to date a stranger was a nice way of saying she doesn't want to go there. I sincerely hope she never does. Carl is a giant ick. Thank you, Lindsay. Anyway, she goes on to say, when Paige said she would kill Jesse, I could not believe he said, what specifically did I do? I wanted to throw something at my TV. How can he be so obtuse? Oh my God, add the Ariana meme. You're being so obtuse. Anyway, more of the same stupidity from him in the kitchen combo, the combo with Wes after, her apartment. He just doesn't understand. Wes with the candle. I would have fallen for Wes if I was Ciara last summer too. And he continues to be so funny. I want to hate him for how he handled the breakup, but he's just so likable. I know, Lindsay. I struggle with this daily.
It's so annoying.
Lindsay, I followed him on Instagram and TikTok. Like, what am I doing? Anyway, last comment from Lindsay. Maybe Amanda is having second thoughts about kids because it would tie her to Kyle forever. Oh, no, I think she's in it, girl. Ooh, weird seeing him upset when it's kind of his fault they didn't do it years ago. No, literally, he could have 12 kids by now if he just, like, was a dad, you know?
If he just showed up at home on time.
Eep,
that's it. I honestly think that's how low the bar is.
Eep, you ever just like do like a little eep, you know? But great. I hate men. Bravo has taught me I don't need them. I hate them. There's no point in them. They're all the useless ones are the best. The Tom Schwartz of it all, the useless.
I can't wait till we are like, it won't be in our lifetime, we know this, but till women truly rule the world, and they're gonna look back on this as like a moment in time in history, and they're gonna be like, crazy these things used to happen.
My favorite debate is when they do this a lot on the streets. A man with a microphone will be like, do you think the world would survive if all the men went missing? And all the women are like, yes. And the men are like,
scared of.
The men are like, no. And they're like, do you think the world would work out if all the women went missing? And the men are like, of course it would, because we do construction and we run worlds. And the girls are like, dude, if you would just give us the chance, we could do it better.
Yeah, if you just got out of the way.
Behind every single, not even great man, behind every single man that has accomplished literally wiping his ass, there's a woman behind him.
Well, I mean, for starters, we birthed them all. Like, you literally wouldn't be on this planet without women.
Oh my God. I did see an interview where someone said that. Because they was like, oh, who's the richest person in the world? Jeff Bezos. Who's the smartest person in the world? Bill Gates. And those are all men. And then this girl was like, yeah, but women gave birth to them. And the guy was like, I cannot compute. And the girl was like,
we could keep the population going. We have enough sperm banks.
Literally, you let us know when you're no, we have the sperm banks. But like, if you give us a 24-hour notice, we'll just capture all your sperm and then we're good forever. And then we'll give birth to boys and we'll raise them to be correct. It's like not that bad. And the best part is, because you could raise a man great, but he's going to have shitty friends somewhere along the line. That's what happens.
Like if they're all raised correctly from the beginning.
Yes, if they're all raised by women.
I like want somebody to do like a scientific study where they like kind of start a new world.
Can we restart the population? I would be more inclined to have kids if I knew they were being raised by all women in an all-woman society. Oh my God, you don't even have to pay me.
Yeah.
Keep your $5,000. I don't even need that. I got it. Thank you.
I agree.
Anyway, this has been so fun. But do all the things I meant. If you liked this, if you were like, I could do more, we have tons of other stuff. Go check out all the links.
You could listen to us when you go to bed too.
I couldn't think of anything worse. But if you're into it, I could. If you're running and listening to us, that's the other one. That's crazy. But do whatever you got to do to make it through the day.
Yep. Well,
love you.
Thanks for joining. Bye.